What's going on, Jeromes? So when the Minnesota Vikings signed the marvelous Marcus Davenport this offseason to a 1-year, $13 million deal, it was a gamble where it was a moderate risk, high upside proposition play because Marcus Davenport, the former number 14 overall pick, Saints traded up 2 first-round picks from the Pride, UTSA, Go Roadrunners, has had a pretty uneven career, dealt with a lot of injuries, but when he's healthy and dialed in, he can certainly get to the quarterback and certainly be a pretty damn legit edge rusher in the National Football League. But as he looked to be the new running mate with Danielle Hunter replacing Zadarius Smith, you could tell the proof was in the pudding, where the 1-year, $13 million deal, if you read the fine print, it had about $2 million in per-game bonuses. So there's a lot of concern that he wouldn't be healthy and on the field. And those per-game bonuses, you have to be on the active game day 46. So when you're on IR, maybe not so much. So Davenport's missing out a little bit of money now because when he's been healthy, he's been on point. But it's been a very small fraction of the season, and he hasn't played in over 2 months, and it's really frustrating, man. Because when he was on the field and when he was terrorizing, like Bryce Young also got a sack against the Chiefs too, it was just like, oh, here we go. All of the talk about him missing training camp, him missing the first part of the season when he injured his ankle, Thursday practice before week 1 against the Bucs, and then he came back against the Eagles, and then he had to go get surgery, and all that stuff is like, oh, I'm sorry, you can actually bring it. But it's not the case anymore. Not the case anymore. So Vikings Nation compiled this from our guy Darren Doogie Wolfson, who is extremely dialed in with the Vikings. With 3 regular season games remaining, the Vikings still have not opened Marcus Davenport's 21-day practice window. Davenport has been out of the walking boot for 10 to 14 days, is no longer, if not longer, per Darren Doogie Wolfson. Wolfson also says he doesn't see any scenario where Davenport is back with the team next season. More from Doogie. Quote, it's a weird situation. He's definitely out of the walking boot. He's been out of the walking boot for the better part of 10 to 14 days, if not longer. But I'm just telling you, the player, he has to want it. So if you want to read between the lines, then do whatever you want. But there are some questions about Marcus Davenport's want, end quote. Now, think about it is that Doogie's not a media personality. Like, he's not someone who offers just opinions and takes about that thing. Where if Doogie's saying that, specifically calling out a player's want, that comes from sourcing. That comes from players off the record just sort of venting. Because the whole thing about it too is like, hey, you're getting paid $13 million. A lot of the guys on the team certainly are not, and he's technically played in 3 games, but he didn't record any stats against Philly. And when you're on the field, you were dialed in. And the fact that, hey, you're out of the walking boot, hey, you could be on the field, hey, you could be potentially helping us as we push for the playoffs, and the Vikings' pass rush efficiency has been sort of down. I mean, players will talk. I mean, players will resent that. Players will chirp about that. Think about your job. All right. Think about the person who, I don't know, has too many sick days or isn't pulling their fair share or isn't doing the work and isn't dialed in. Everyone talks about that guy. So is that what's going on with Davenport right now? Because I could tell you one thing, they ain't going to fly. That is not going to fly with Brian Flores. And, like we said, with Doogie, like, he's not going to just be shooting off from the hip with something like this. So it's obviously something that he's heard, and it certainly could be a vibe where generally players aren't just going to come out and say it. Like, hey, you're healthy. You should be on the field helping us out. It ain't going to be that blatant in the media, maybe behind closed doors, but I don't know. It's really weird. And we said it before. I mean, Davenport, yes, he is coming back from ankle surgery. And yes, I mean, things take time. And Kevin O'Connell and this regime have been very cautious when it comes to injuries. But the fact that Jordan Hicks is returning from his compartment surgery where he had his leg sliced open for 4 days before Marcus Davenport, it's just weird, man. It's just weird. And like we said, when he's on the field and healthy and dialed in, he can get things done. Like, he could be a terror out there, man. But it's been a while. I mean, freaking October 1st. What day is it today? December 21st? Great. Cool. Great. Anyways, your thoughts are thoughts. Reportedly, Marcus Davenport, there's some people questioning his want to return from ankle injury. Let us know your thoughts on our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But next time, Skull Production Value.